Deep Ellum greetings.
Well, my name's Brian Crawford. I'm an artist by night. By day, I'm a computer programmer.
My name is Kathy Miller. I'm an artist.
Hi, my name is Amber Campagna.
Judith Lee Perkins.
My name's Sergio Garcia. I'm from East Dallas.
My name's Frank Campagna. I've been an artist as long as I can remember, which isn't saying much, but...
My name's Tyson Summers. Well, this project is really huge for me, and it's a big honor to be a part of it. Basically, in a nutshell, they knocked down our tunnel, and when we say they, we all know who it is. But our tunnel's gone, and all the artwork's gone with it, buried under the ground. It'll be discovered 1,000 years from now, and they'll be worth, well, probably millions of dollars. But this is the new entrance to Deep Ellum. It's going to be a pretty cool entrance again, instead of just abandoned buildings and a dart rail. My father and my grandfather, they were huge influences on me. They were both artists, so I grew up with them painting and building and making all kinds of things.
I lived here for a couple years, and then ever since the 80s I've been coming down here just because it is a real artistic community and it's friendly to artists. So if you walk into the pub or the coffee shop and you have paint all over you, they don't treat you poorly. The cinder block was very grippy, and then the garage door has the bumps in it, so that one was the hardest. Paint the figures, so that's what I started with, and I left everything blank, and I waited to see what they were going to do, and then I just I took off from what they were doing, but did it in my own style, like maybe a little plainer, more graphic than what they were doing. Sergio's like spray paint guy, and he makes it look so easy when he's spray painting, but he gets everything, like the shoelace he just did. He was like, and then it's spot on. He nails it.
I've been painting murals for a while. I did the tunnels, I guess, a long time ago with Frank, and then Frank invited me in to do this project with him this time. Me and Frank are real good buddies. I've known Frank for a long time. Been helping him out with the kettle. And, you know, a lot of projects. Actually, I was valeting, you know, when I first met Frank, and Frank turned me on to a lot of jobs. And our relationship's been really cool, so anytime he ever needs something, I'm there, and vice versa. All of our styles are just massively different. We kind of had some form of a theme, but we're so organic. I mean, it is what it is, and I think that's the beauty of it. The idea of graffiti is like, you know, when you see like a mural or a piece of art, it's something different. It's a break from like, you know, an idea of making money, you know? It's not like seeing a billboard with like, you know, buy this, or hey, our shop is here. Like everything you see always is a business or a street sign, or, you know, so it's not really, I think the idea of art in general is a good thing. So I think that it being here, it brings more culture, and it's totally what the city needs. Everybody's really fighting to get this energy back, you know, and I think the tunnels had that energy when you drove through it, you know, your heart beat a little different, and I think that's kind of what we're trying to do again, you know, is make that come back alive, you know. I'm just excited that everybody's out here doing their thing, you know, like, it's definitely, when you drive by now and it's not even finished, it already makes the city look a lot cooler, and I think that when it's fully done, it's going to be similar to the tunnels. This is our time on this earth, and it's kind of our way of expressing ourselves. I think most cultures have that, you know, like the Egyptians, you know, hieroglyphics, and, you know, even if you go as far back as it goes to, like, I think even the Indians expressing themselves. And I think that our urban culture and our concrete society that we're in, you know, this is our way of doing it for everyone instead of just for ourselves or art pieces for someone's home. Everything goes in cycles, like music and everything else, and I think that it's gotten to a point where, you know, West Village and all these other high-end things have all come together, you know, and like people have gone that route, and I think it's time to get it right back down to the roots.
So one day out of the blue, I saw a call for artists for a mural competition here in Deep Ellum that Frank had put out. So I answered the call and was selected to do one of the murals. And from that, it's just kind of snowballed to where every time Frank calls, I'll be here to do a mural. You know, everybody comes from different backgrounds, you know, but everybody's kind of has done everything they can to help each other on this project. So it's kind of unbelievable how everybody just come together to do this and to help one another and support one another.
I am lost like you want me to be. I am.
You know, it is a labor of love. Whenever I'm creating, I kind of get lost in that, and it's really therapeutic because it feels good. You spend hours, and I mean, I've spent 100+ hours in 100-degree heat, and it's been joyful, to be honest. Even, you know, if I'm sopping wet with sweat and kind of being beaten down by the heat, I still truly enjoy it. I chose the colors basically because I wanted something to really pop off of that wall. The orange itself is going to lend itself to glow at sunset, so it's real eye-catching, and that's what I was looking for whenever I chose orange on top of the blue. Deep Ellum now is kind of in a rebirth, and it's appropriate that we're doing these murals here where the old tunnel was. I mean, whenever they destroyed the tunnel, it was kind of a closing of a chapter, and this is kind of a rebirth and kind of an opening of a new chapter where music and art's going to play an even larger role in what Deep Ellum's known for.
Yeah, that was pretty intense, just getting it ready. Hopefully it'll hold up for a while. I think a lot of the style comes from graffiti, like the technique of putting down the colors and coming in with the black outline and then doing the highlights. That whole process is really similar to painting letters in kind of a street art graffiti piece.
Just obey less of me for you.
definitely looked at some Asian reference. And then a lot of tattoo art. I have a lot of friends that are tattoo artists.
Let it die, let it die, let it die.
I just enjoy it. I mean, I'm happy if I can just keep doing what I'm doing now and just being able to do it on my own terms. Having a legacy of your artwork living beyond you. I think that would be really making it.
My whole idea of the whole thing was the history of Deep Ellum and, you know, the jazz history. It has such a, you know, I mean, Robert Johnson, Bessie Smith, Blind Lemon Jefferson. So to me, I wanted to say something about that history of Deep Ellum, the music, but I didn't. This is just a less. It's not literal. It's animals playing. So, you know, it just kind of changed and grew. I have lived around this neighborhood for so long, and I love it, and it's, you know, it's in a cycle all the time, and I love the neighborhood. I love the history, and the music that comes out of it really is. I believe in it. You're walking around the streets, it's history around you, it's special. If it was gone, there wouldn't be another place, but like that in Dallas anywhere. This part of Dallas that's all there is. I mean, if we get rid of this, it's over.
I've been practicing painting since basically I could hold a paintbrush.
That's cool. So you like it?
I do. I've been studying sharks in 2nd grade and have a slight obsession with them, but I love them to death.
Yeah?
Literally. Well, I guess not so literally.
Have you seen anyone kind of taking their pictures in front of this and kind of coming up and playing with the art?
I have. I had a little girl come up to me earlier whenever I was signing my signature, and she goes, "Did you paint this?" All nice and cute and wide-eyed. And I was like, "Yes, ma'am, I did. I also did the other one." She goes, "That's really cool." And I've never, ever, ever had a little girl just kind of look at me with such wonderment and such amazement. And I was like, "You should pick up a paintbrush and start drawing."
Why not?
I love inspiring art in others. I hope it inspires them to come to Deep Ellum more, because we are a loving community down here. And really, I think, if anything, I'm hoping somebody, first glance at either one of my murals, first thought will be, "That's badass." No matter who you are.
This project started out with a huge snag, that being the walls appeared to be really in great shape, and they were not at all. We spent about a week water blasting and chipping paint and priming and doing a lot of prep work. And really, prep work is the most difficult part of any project. It's by far the least glamorous and the most important. I like having at least one day doing prep work on a wall just to get to know the wall and the surface. I don't know, it's almost spiritual or something, you know? You just gotta get to know it and feel it and notice nuances about it and that type of thing and figure out how you're gonna work whatever problems there might be into your overall creation. I enjoy the process of getting out there and doing it, and the fresh air, the sunshine, the sound of the traffic. The sound of the traffic's almost like the ocean in a sense, so, you know, it just ebbs and it flows and it kind of puts you in a zone, and yeah, it's a beautiful thing. I thought RoboCop would be fun to do because he's opposite the traveling man robot. So it's like, this robot was here before that robot. Bonnie and Clyde, they met just up the street, about 5 blocks from here, and they spent a lot of time hanging out in Deep Ellum, hiding out in Deep Ellum. So, you know, that's pretty much a no-brainer to throw them in there. I basically have 3 rules, and those being, you know, for any public art project, and that's no hate, no violence, and no obvious sex. You know, I don't have a problem if it's suggestive, but you know, if it's just blatant, out and out, point, no, it's not going to happen. You know, so that's pretty much it. Those are my guidelines, and the artists came up with their own ideas. And then it was like, okay, well, you guys all know each other, and now I want you to get to know each other a little bit better and figure out how to take your piece and blend it into the next piece and take some of your work. Don't be afraid to go into each other's spaces a little bit or carry each other's ideas over into each other's work to create more of a, you know, a single piece. I'm in great company when it comes down to these artists. Every single one of them, you know, humble me in their own right, because it's almost like a mutual admiration society. Everybody gets off on each other and is blown away by each other's talent. So some things you can't buy. There's a certain passion and love for what everybody's doing right now. I believe every artist involved with this project has gone over budget on materials and have been paying for materials out of their own pocket. And hopefully a lot of the artists will get recognition and their names will get a little bit bigger, and you know, they'll get some kind of publicity, or you know, it'll help their career where they can feel comfortable in bumping up their prices.
So move it.
I can finally breathe like the air has been clean for the first time in a really long time. And couldn't you see, it's something I need to be looked at like a beautiful shrine. It's nothing to say, you want to come home 'cause you're here, but we're all still dying alone, we're alone. Yeah. I can see clear for miles, the world plain as day, but it's harder to see what's in front of my face. Situations get tough, and I do the same. And though I am fighting, I'm put in my place. I give of myself, of my money, my time. It keeps me ahead, but I'm always behind, I'm behind. Yeah. And I'll never run, never hide, never leave, never cry, never stop to ask why. And I'm holding on to everything, I'm watching while it's happening, and then I close my eyes. And I'll never run, never hide, never leave, never cry, never stop to ask why. And I'm holding on to everything, I'm watching while it's happening, and then I close my eyes. Time doesn't
People that live here in the lofts coming over and tell us how much they appreciate us painting something on the wall and kind of getting rid of the kind of boring gray walls.
Try, can you keep your feet on the ground? There's no one but you to settle you down. We nurture a baby in the depths of our bones, and we leave him to carry our name when we're gone, when we're gone. Yeah. And I'll never run, never hide, never leave, never cry, never stop to ask why.
Deep Ellum will always be the place that is, you know, the artist type, the creative type is going to find something meaningful. And it's artists and musicians and poets and writers and filmmakers, and it really is. I'm glad that we've been able to hold on to that because they're artists. I mean, it's, everybody has a message. It's beautiful.
Close my eyes. Close my eyes. I close my eyes. Close my eyes.
Yes, it does. Deep Ellum definitely enjoys its own uniqueness. Wow, that's so cool. Look at that.
Give me one hard.
Oh.
Hey man, I need to go way down New Mexico. I need some time to lose my mind. Hot drinks and fast cars on my champagne and caviar, and it's enough to make me end your life. Whoa, 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 I'm about to gone. He's about to gone. Whoa, whoa, come on out and join the round. Shuffle, take room on, I'm faster than a loaded gun, and nothing ever beats my switchblade night. Hot drinks and fast cars on my champagne and caviar, and it's enough to make me